Hey folks, welcome to another episode here on the Mr. Analyst channel. My name is Leighton Levy, and of course, we try to bring you as many sporting stories as possible. I said at the very outset that this was not only going to be about track and field, and today is another example of that. Of course, as you know, in about 2 weeks, on December 6th, the richest race in Jamaica's racing history, the Mouttet Mile Invitational, is going to be on track at Savannah Park. And with me to talk about the event coming up is the executive chairman of the Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment, Solomon Sharpe. Solomon, thanks for joining us. Big meet in 2 weeks. Lots of money for the industry. This is the fourth staging. Talk to me a little bit about what we can expect for 2025.
Before we get into all of that, though, you have now shown that you're a real sportsman. You spoke about track and field, but then you said Savannah Park, so that is cricket and maybe sometimes football.
Oh, sorry,
But we're at
Caymanas
Caymanas
Park.
Park. Yeah, the premier
Caymanas
horse
Park.
racing destination in the Caribbean.
My bad. I didn't realize I said
No, it's
Caymanas
not
Park.
bad. It shows you how good you are. It shows you how good you are because you're well versed on sports and you're all excited. And I know the passion that you have for sports, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We understand that mistake.
All right, so talk to me. The fourth staging of the Mouttet Mile Invitational, Solomon. Um, Break it down for me. What can we expect for the 2025 edition?
Well, we have 12 races lined up. It has always been 12 exciting races, and the Mouttet Mile has never disappointed, and we don't expect it to disappoint again this year. I think of all the years, and maybe comparison to year one, this is the most even that the race is going to be. But we have made things better. We have upped the purse from year one, and it's now double. It started at 150, and now we're at $300,000. So the horsemen are very happy about that, and there's more to go for. I think when you look at when we launched the race, what we wanted to do was fix the A class. We wanted to bring the right set of horses in Jamaica, and we saw the investment taking place from year two, where Rough Entry and company came in, and in year three, when they thought the two foreign invaders thought that they had it covered like the year before, here comes a imported horse who was locally based. So we wouldn't call him a foreign invader. That one. So those connections would have bought that horse as a 2-year-old.
That
And
was
then
a
this
fun
year,
can done.
that's Funky and done.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, and then it was so intriguing this year because now that we have the winner here in races, Fun Can Done barely got in. He's listed at number 16. So he's like the last horse in, being the defending champions. And you know how sport is. Sometimes defending champion, what it took for them to win last year, he's gone through his little niggling injuries or whatever it is this year that, the setbacks here, the setbacks there. And then he's coming through the back. So he continues to be a danger to all, right? Because he's a quality animal. And good quality animals, if you've won a race before, they tend to show up, when it matters most on that day. Then we have the horse that came second last year, and there's a little bit of an asterisk beside that because he came in only 2 weeks before, on the track out of quarantine, and everybody felt that he was a little rusty. He only got one stride up before, and people said if he was here a week earlier, he would have won the race easily. He has come back. He has had a good season, and he won one of the winning year in races when he won the Gold Cup the other day. So he's doing well. He galloped this morning and did very well on the track. Then you have another foreign invader in Nautical Star that has just been burning up the track since he's been here. Mojito ran a fantastic race last week. Supernatural Powers continues to show her prowess. And she's going to be the handicap horse of the race. She only has 52 kilos. We just saw earlier today Dick Cardenas riding very well, the Wiley Coyote. So with Dick Cardenas and 52 kilos and Supernatural Power, she should be the favorite. We also have Ride All Day, that one a win on your in race. He's shaping up nice as a 3-year-old. So when you look at the cadre of horses, the older local breds are now coming to hand. And then you have 2 young 3-year-olds that were imported. I guess with this date in mind, with Ride All Day and Supernatural Powers, and if you just even think of those names, it's like they were handpicked for this race, you know. And then you have the horses coming back, and then you have Run Julie Run that ran a blistering race the other day in the Jamaica Cup. She lost the Mojito. So you have all of these horses coming back. Gervana came way off the pace. He's another one of the upcoming 3-year-old stars that's going to be in on it. So when you have this race, it'll have 16 starters, and some say, oh, there's making up numbers, but think about it. Mojito came in at number 16, but he won't be 17 to 1. I don't think anybody's going to have him at 17 to 1 this year, regardless of his form. And you're going to have at least 10 to 12 horses that are going to be in single digits. That is usually an indication of how the betting public thinks. And when the betting public can't make up their minds like this, it says that the race is evenly distributed.
Talk to me though. I mean, you just spoke to the quality of the lineup for the Mojito. Yes, you have me talking foolishness though, Mojito, the Mouttet Mile Solomon. But part of what makes the Mouttet Mile Invitational such a special day is the experience for the
Yes.
racing fan, for the owners, for the punters. Talk to me a little bit about what we're expected to see this year. Given, and I ask this primarily because we're just coming off a situation where we were rocked by a difficult, barnstorming hurricane, literally. So so the facilities may have taken some kind of impact. What has been the recovery like, and then how does this translate into what the experience will be for the patronage?
Well, one of the things that you have to do when you deal with sports, the most important thing, as you know, is going back to the core. So when the hurricane hit, we came back here, and by Thursday morning we had the track ready for exercise. People don't understand that you have to keep the horses moving or they'll get sick. So here it is that you have some high performing animals that were up to this level, and then you're asking them to do nothing. They will literally get serious injuries and get sick. So we had to bring back the track up and running. So the first thing we concentrated on the racetrack itself. We got the racetrack up, and then we went on the back stretch to deal with the facilities. We removed whatever trees there were to remove. We've not been able to fix some roofs yet, but we had enough alternate housing for some horses to shift around. And we did all the shifting around, and then we started to systematically look on the facilities and started working on it. And then we had to look at, what's our distribution system like? Are the officials ready? What are the other things? Where the camera tower? I'm at the track and I'm looking around and I'm just going through my camera tower is ready. Is that ready? Is this ready? And so we brought back the facilities in a state of readiness at about 80% very quickly. And then the distribution channels initially was like at 40%. So we backed off of that and we made sure that that was sorted. And then once we got that sorted, we decided we would have racing. This is how these guys make their livelihood. If there's no racing, there's no purse for them. People thought we're crazy to run that race the Saturday before, but I was watching the storm like a hawk, and we realized that the storm wasn't going to come until Monday at best. So we gave everybody an opportunity to earn. The OTBs, some of them are wiped out, but this is how everybody makes their living. So we gave that opportunity. We made it happen. We shut down on the Saturday night right after. We shut down Sunday. We didn't open up back for business until Friday. And then we're back for live racing for the second week now. So it's been slow. We're still at 65% capacity, but again, we're still trying to give everybody who's a part of the ecosystem an opportunity to earn, and that's what's most important. So the pomp and pageantry won't be there this year. We won't be doing an infield tent, but that's not going to stop us from having a really exciting day. We still have our 70s theme. We huddled and we spoke to some patrons, and they said, look, we know that our friends in the rural areas are hurting, and this is not just a party. This is not just a celebration. This is an important part of our social fabric, our ecosystem, and we realized that bringing back racing, we were able to send joy to the rest of Jamaica. And this is, we're connected by music, we're connected by sport, we're connected by entertainment. And horse racing is not just sport, it's entertainment, it's a way of life, it's a lifestyle, it's a business for everybody. So we had to bring it back. So we're going to continue with our theme of the 70s. Right now, I don't have much here, but I expect to get to Afro by then. I can arrange an Afro for you as well, since we have similar hairstyles. But yes, so you want to come in your Afro and your big heel boot and your Belfoot pants, and then what do we do as a people when we are distressed? We go back to the core of, so whilst we're fixing the core and getting the racing core, we go back to the core of who we are, and the core of who we are is entertainment and music, and that's what keeps our heart beating literally. So the rhythms of the hooves and the rhythms of we'll have music on board that day, so we're going to bring all the full 360. And then last year the whole Western theme was a big hit, so we know that the 70s theme is going to be a big hit. Who's going to want to look like Jimmy Cliff, and who's going to want to look like a pimp, and you name it. So, but it's about bringing back nostalgia, and then we all talk nostalgic when we are in a time of despair. So that's important.
Great. So you mentioned a couple of things that I wanted to touch on, if you don't mind. The OTBs, and of course you mentioned the camera angles. Will SVREL be able to distribute to our markets in 100%, or are we still working those logistics out?
For the OTBs, we have about 65-70% of the OTB network that is up. All of our international market is still up. All of our online platform is still up. And as we speak now, I'm going to run off of the camera if this number 4 horse wins, but and he's interestingly poised. So I'm watching. I'm going to turn around for the punters for the benefit of the public. So I'm watching on the big screen. So everything, all systems are go here, and we're cheering for number 4, Rico. So yes, he's sitting about second or third right now. And Aladdin is just holding him up, and he's going to come and pounce on them up the lane. Oh my God, he's dropped back to third. He's still in the mix. Where's Rico? Sorry. Yeah, so we can still talk whilst we look about Rico. Oh, Rico is still in with a chance. No, I think Rico is beaten today. No, Rico is beaten today. Anyway, so let's get back to it now.
Yeah. So quickly though, because so you were talking about the distribution. So that means at least a good percentage of your fan base and your support structure is going to be still engaged on December the 6th. You mentioned that you were at 65% in terms of readiness, in terms of getting these facilities back to 100%. You still have a couple of weeks to go, though. How much progress do you think you're making in those couple of weeks?
I think we'll make good progress. I think kudos to the JPS and kudos to the telecoms. So I would have gotten a call today that a couple of the machines weren't connected as they should be somewhere in Clarendon, and that's just as a result of the dodgy internet, because of the whole networks are down. So the good thing is that most places now are getting back electricity. So you can tie back everything to electricity. You can tie it back to internet. So we're almost there. So we think that in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be where we want to be, and we'll be happy. But most of all, we're just really grateful that for a sport, for an activity that we really love so much, the hurricane, had it come a different route, it could have been, more devastating for all of us. And so we're not happy that it happened to somebody else, but it's the whole thing is just sad. But we have to keep it moving. And again, and then we also have to support the people out west.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 farms have been devastated. So if there's no racing, the farms who breed the horses to sell don't get to sell their horses because there's no racing. Then the farmhands get hurt. So, when we buy their horses now with the upcoming yearling sale, this is how they get a quicker chance to rebuild. So, and it takes, as the Prime Minister said, every industry to come back up and running. We pay quite a bit of tax. So the tax dollar is important for the government to meet this $1 trillion target, and
Yeah.
but so we're just playing our role and keeping it going. So one of the things, like when we speak about sports now, is that I said during COVID lockdown that the business of sport is more important than we realize, and I was hoping that more sports would understand that and get their structures in place. So you might hear a lot of fussing and fighting going on in racing, but this is a structured business that has always supported livelihoods, and I think it had an advantage of when it is to reconnect or resume and things. So we want to encourage everybody else to look at their platform and try and get it more professional, because I think sport can help us come out of this devastation a lot faster, because there's a lot of us that some of these football players we're upset with the reggae boys, but when you think of Mr. King, who plays his trade in Scotland and he's locally bred, and the more of him that gets qualified to play in the Premier League, the more Leon Baileys we have, the more whispers we have, is the better off for us, because they are now in a better position to help their families and to help raise the GDP. And we know the athletes and what they have been able to do from their different platforms and how well they have earned. And thank God for Usain Bolt and Shelley and Fraser Price with making our athletics much stronger and much better. So even the second and the third layers are earning more and more to be able to do more for everybody else. So sport is one of the answers. Entertainment, and the entertainment side of sport is secondary, but sport is really important. It builds character. I used to play a little bit of football back in my day, and football is responsible for my education and anything that I've done in business. And every time I find it tough in business, every time I find it tough at the track, I definitely wasn't a jockey. So I go back to football, and that's what gives me that impetus to keep moving.
Yeah, Solomon, you just had a speech that you're preaching to the converted, because it's something I've been saying for many, many years, that sports can be
And
an
I'm
economic
so
driver.
I know this. I know this. I mean, we're coming from foreigners, and I know
Mm,
this. So when I'm on a program like this, I can't. It's not just about horse racing. It's about Jamaica. It's about building brand Jamaica through and through. So
mm,
when I was getting calls from foreign, why aren't you starting races this week, the week before?
yeah,
Your track is fine. I see everything was going on. You have done a marvelous job at the recovery, and you're good. So why don't you start racing? I was like, but we can't leave out the distribution, and we can't do this, and we can't do that.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I mean, we see the full 360. So it shows how important it is. And then for the diaspora who wants to connect, one of the persons said to me that him said to me, boss, and him hold him head, him said, look, him called me on video call, right? And him was really animated, him on video call, and him get it. Him said, boss, look at me, me distress. Me say, look, I'm tired of seeing this thing about the hurricane now. It's breaking my heart. I need something positive out of Jamaica, and horse racing on every Saturday is what I use my handheld device and I go on, and this is what keeps me connected to Jamaica. You can't do this to me. You can't not have racing. And I'm
mm,
like, okay, we're working on it. We're going to bring it back, but it has to be at a time where it works for everybody. And he said, boy, one other person said to me, I understand the business side of it, but hurry up and bring it back. We need racing. Because
mm,
again, what he's saying is that boy, I'm in St. Elizabeth and I'm so distressed, and he needs something to make him feel happy. And just watching racing, whether he has a horse running or not on that particular day, it connects him, it gives him an upliftment. So
mm.
we get very passionate and very crazy about
Yeah,
sport in general.
absolutely. I mean, we're pretty much all the time, Solomon. But thank you again. Of course, give you have 30 seconds. A rallying cry to get people to come out to Caymanas Park on December the 6th.
You come here at 10:30 in the morning. We're going to have a Reggae 6 mandatory. Probably going to be about $30-something million in the pot. So there's going to be, if there's something for everybody. There's going to be great racing. There's going to be a little fun, a little style. You know, they I mean, just come on over. It's going to be a great day again. And this is one of the days that you can bring your family and get a really nice, uplifting day of good family fun.
All right, of course. Remember to Subscribe, like, and share this content on this channel. Of course, thank you so much again for watching. Solomon Sharpe, thank you so much. And of course, wishing you all the best for the Mouttet Mile Invitational on December 6th, 2025. And it's more than just racing, especially this year. It's more than just
Remember
racing.
Caymanas Park, not
Caymanas
Park.
Park. Caymanas Park. I said, Catherine, near to where I used to live. I mean, not live, but I used to visit a very, very long time ago. Just a walk down the road. But I'm looking forward to seeing what unfolds on that day. So, and of course, lift the spirits of the Jamaicans, the Jamaican diaspora, and the Jamaican people.
Yes, thank you.
Take it easy.